Let me ask you, what do you actually do with your anger? Do you swallow it? Pretend it's not there? Or do you let it out? Real, raw, no bullshit. You know, anger's not the enemy. It's just an emotion. And yeah, sometimes you gotta let it fly. But not just anywhere. Not just in any way. Look, I was married for 16 years. Happy. Loved her then. Love her still. But sometimes people change. And sometimes love means knowing when to say goodbye. Our marriage was beautiful in its own way. We were always together. Unless I was working, then she was solo. Two completely different characters, perfectly complementing. Except one thing. She never argued. No matter what I messed up, no matter how wrong I was, she refused to get mad. Not a single argument, not even a little. Joy? Always shared. Anger? Nope. Sadness? Sometimes. But anger? Nope. And you know what? That's a classic trap I see all the time. Because guess what? Anger is just an emotion like any other. And emotions need a valve, a way out. Otherwise, boom, the tire explodes. Let me explain. Because this story's got two sides. Your side and the other person's side. Here's what I mean to say. Laughing a lot? Good. Science backs that. It relaxes you. But so does really crying. And yes, really getting mad too. Not nonstop, not all day, but enough to let it out. We humans got sleep, dreams, talking, and emotions for a reason. They help us unload the weight of what we feel, see, live through. If you don't unload, it's like pumping a tire without letting air out. Your body starts screaming. Your mind goes haywire. And anger. It's just one symptom. I'm not saying get angry every day. No way. But not speaking up, that's like storing stress in your body's basement. And that's a damn health hazard. Here's where it gets interesting. Anger and sadness, they're also how you set boundaries. Back then, I was busy, rough around the edges, not the empathy guy I am now. And with all her swallowed anger and quiet sadness, I had no clue what I was doing wrong. No feedback. Nada. Sure, one time I screwed up bad. Promised to be home for dinner. Instead, I showed up at midnight. No heads up, keyless and jacketless after a night out. I get it. I should have known better. I didn't need her anger to tell me that. That was disrespectful. Period. But here's the kicker. Getting mad sometimes, that's feedback. And feedback, even when it stings, is a gift. Especially in relationships. So why do I say anger and heavy crying are just emotions? Because some people, like my ex, refuse to let them out. And when you do, they get scared or shut down. That's the paradox. So here's the deal with my ex's whole vibe on negativity. It just didn't fit. Not even a little bit. Like zero tolerance for anything even smelling like a negative thought. Sounds noble, right? Like she was some kind of spiritual ninja, keeping her life all shiny and bright. But here's the truth. That's like saying, I love all my shiny parts, the sparkly hair, the charming smile, but the messy drawers? Nah, I'm just going to pretend they don't exist. You can't just pick and choose like a damn buffet. You got to own the whole plate. The good, the bad, the awkward. And no, I'm not talking about people who explode at every damn thing. I'm talking about the stuff you should get mad about. The stuff that cuts deep, that feels unfair, that screams, this is not okay. Because here's the magic of anger. If it doesn't go full on nuclear, it actually creates space. Space for love. Not just for hurling insults or shutting down, but real love. Love for yourself. Love for the other person. Anger, when it's raw and honest, is a boundary setter. It's your brain and body yelling, hey, this matters, pay attention. And when you say that out loud, clearly and calmly, you invite respect. You invite understanding. You make room for connection, even if it's uncomfortable. Now, some people will say, you can get the same results with just calmness and love. Sure, that's true sometimes, but it often takes way longer. Like way longer. I'm telling you, every pure emotion deserves to be felt and spoken. What do I mean by pure? Simple. If someone tells a joke and you laugh, that's pure. No overthinking. No layers of meaning. Just funny. But when does anger or sadness stop being pure? When it's packed with stories from the past, all tangled in a web of why me and always and never. Here's a classic example. Your partner finally empties the washing machine, but throws your expensive clothes on the floor wet instead of hanging them up, and then throws in his own laundry like it's a damn free-for-all. Yeah, that's selfish. That's annoying. That's pure cause for anger. You're allowed to be mad about that, but it stops being pure anger when you add, he always leaves stuff lying around, never thinks about me, doesn't respect my things, which means he doesn't respect me. And then, just to make it juicier, you throw in, remember when he forgot my expensive beach towel at the beach 8 years ago? And that time he spilled red wine on my white pants. Now that anger? It's no longer just anger. It's a loaded, boiling stew of old wounds, resentments, and soap opera drama. And that anger? That's when you grab the duct tape, zip your mouth shut, and go for a walk around the block. Because if you don't, you're not angry anymore. You're a walking bomb waiting to explode. So here's the truth you gotta sit with. It's not about bottling up anger or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about feeling just enough anger, the pure kind, to know where your line is. Because that pure anger, it's a gift. It tells you when something matters, when respect is missing, when you've been crossed. But when anger gets stuffed full of all the old crap, past fights, old grudges, every tiny annoyance you've ever stored, then it stops being anger. It becomes a heavy, toxic stew. And that stew, it doesn't help anyone. That's when you gotta choose. Hold on to the stories and get stuck. Or step outside them, zip the lip, take a breath, and walk it off. Because real love, real respect, can only grow in the space where your anger is clear and clean, not murky and loaded with baggage. So yeah, love your anger like you love your laughter. Let it be honest. Let it be pure. But don't let it drown you in stories from 8 years ago, or every single little mistake your partner ever made. Keep it real. Keep it simple. And keep that valve open. Because that's how you stay sane. How you keep connection alive. How you keep loving without losing yourself. And honestly, that's one hell of a skill.